What's up, everyone? Dan here, Crypto Capital Venture, August 6th, 2018. August is flying by. A lot going on in crypto world, especially Bitcoin price, Litecoin price down. We're going to talk about those things in this video. If you're a replay viewer, please see the timestamps below, because I'm actually going to give it a few minutes right now for some people to come in here. We're a little early here. It's 9:28, so I'm going to hang out for a couple minutes. What's up, everybody? Thornton Plumbing. We got Shielded by God, Ryan Jack, Mexican Charlie Lee, Tech Lords, Steven Herzog, Hodl Fuel. What's up, Hodl Fuel? I need to get me some coffee from Hodl Fuel. Austin, Kevin, what's up? We got Rob in the house. Woo, woo. Midnight Snack with CCV. I love it. Josh Bailey, what's up? Ryan, what's up? Dan, missed everyone this weekend. Yeah, it was a pretty crazy weekend. Market's definitely down. Saturday was a red day for Bitcoin. We're gonna talk about that today. What is the name of your haircut? I want to tell my barber to give me that. I don't know. Sarah might know. Does it even have a name? Do haircuts have names? Austin says, Dan, huge donation announcement after the show. Everyone, please tune into Twitter after the show, says Austin. Austin, what's your screen name on Twitter? Varka de Dragon. What's up? Kevin Romaine in the house. Ethereum Classic making a run today, getting added to Coinbase tomorrow. Kevin Coxwell. Yeah, who got in on that Ethereum Classic action? Congratulations to you. Congratulations to all of us. We are the early adopters. We're the dreamers of dreams. We really are. Steven, $14.99 super chat, getting it started right. He says, get your hotel for Jersey, bro. What's up with that anyway? I need to check in with you guys, because I haven't done any planning around that day. But let's do it. Steven, appreciate the super chat. You're crazy. Get your hotel for Jersey. Is everybody staying at a hotel? Early bird special. Shielded by God says, we're in a bear market. So Kevin Coxwell, who's in the chat, says he's in on it, and it's up $1.50. Hoping $30 is coming. Mexican Charlie Lee got ETH Classic at 1680 on Saturday. Hopefully it doubles. This is not financial advice, but if that thing doubles once it gets added, I hope some of you guys are taking some profits, because we all know what's going to happen shortly after that. We all know what's going to happen. How's my audio? I'm going to get this video started. But I just want to see how's my audio before I do. It seems like it's okay. Nobody's complaining. So if you guys don't mind, John Moore, what's up, John? We were just talking. David Schwartz in the house. David Schwartz. Yo, Dan, I made it on time this time. So I don't have to do a synopsis an hour in for David Schwartz, my good friend. We got Tech Lords as a mod. Proud to have Tech Lords doing his thing. It will probably tank a couple hours before it's officially listed on Coinbase, possibly. Or tank as it's being listed. Give it the gas, says Dan Best. I'm going to take Dan Best's word, and I'm going to get started. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm just going to go over this article. Obviously, you all know, and you might have been made aware of Hester Pierce, who I highly recommend you follow, who is an SEC commissioner, but a voice, really our voice at the SEC. And this article came out not too long ago in reference to CNBC exclusive interview that Hester did on CNBC. And you can see it on my screen right now, but I'm going to post a link to that in the description. Actually, it's already there. It's already in the description. But I want to talk about it real quick, because many of you may have not seen maybe me on Twitter talking about Hester. and kind of what she's doing right now. So this article, SEC has no jurisdiction to look at Bitcoin for ETF decision, admits commissioner. The SEC has no jurisdiction to look at Bitcoin for ETF decision. A commissioner of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has voiced her opinion that the agency overstepped its bounds to reject a Bitcoin ETF recently based on the underlying asset Bitcoin. Everybody knows Winklevoss ETF denied. She believes that the role of the SEC is to consider the market for the ETF, not the underlying asset itself. Awesome point, Hester. Very awesome point. She explained that her colleagues cited a number of reasons for that decision, and specifically, what I think they did is they looked through to the underlying asset, she said. In this case, that would be Bitcoin. And they raised some concerns about the market for that underlying product. She asserted, I think by doing that, they went beyond what the statute allows us to do, and we should have really focused on the market where the exchange-traded product would trade, as opposed to focusing on the underlying Bitcoin markets. She's got some clear perspective. She does. During the interview, she was asked one of the SEC's concerns is that there may be price manipulation in Bitcoin, the underlying asset, and what you are saying is that the SEC has no jurisdiction to look at the underlying asset. Is that correct? And Pierce replied, that's correct. So they should not be looking at this underlying asset, Bitcoin. So she then elaborated that just like with other underlying assets such as gold or oil, it's not within our purview to go and look at how those markets are actually working. We should be focused on the market that's trading the security, which in this case would be the exchange traded product. And I need to update this title, Bitcoin price and news updates. Always do that. I always forget to change the title before I go live. It's so bad. Should be good to go now. Rob's in the house, Boiling Point Mechanical. So Hester Pierce really making some really strong comments, and it's really in regards to her outlook. It's her perspective, it's her opinion, and you can see I take the position that actually the change that was before us was consistent with the Exchange Act. There's no reason for us not to allow this product to go ahead and trade on the exchange. So I would have let it go forward, whereas my colleagues believe that it should not go forward. So there you go. And then talking about this next ETF approval, VanEck Solid X, it says, if the commission fails to meet any of the deadlines for final action on a proposed rule change, that proposed rule change is pursuant to the Exchange Act deemed to have been approved by the commission. So some things to look out for. And I have in the description below, I have a link right here to Hester Pierce for her Twitter. If you're on Twitter, go follow her, support her. You know, she's standing up against a lot of people with her opinions, especially within the SEC. That's a pretty bold stance to take, and she's pretty cool. So you can see this was from the end of July 26th. This was the original tweet that caught my attention, and this is when I followed her right around the end of July. She said, apparently Bitcoin is not ripe enough, respectable enough, or regulated enough to be worthy of our markets. And then she says, I dissent, and then she has her opinion over here on the SEC website, which you can read. I put a link in the description. I respectfully dissent from the Commission's order disapproving a proposed rule change as amended to list and trade shares of the Winklevoss Bitcoin Trust. You can see it's a long piece, but this part stuck out to me. The disapproval order inhibits institutionalization. In disapproving the proposed listing, the Commission points to problems in the Bitcoin market that I believe would be mitigated by institutionalizing the market, a phenomenon that Bitcoin ETPs would foster. So, pretty crazy. And ETPs, exchange traded products. And then lastly, I have a link to this in the description below, but it's the interview with Hester from August 1st, a few days ago. CNBC interview. The link is in the description. Definitely go watch it. It's kind of in the middle. They have a couple other segments. This is in the middle. Was really good, and go watch that if you haven't. So that's kind of like the Bitcoin news that I wanted to talk about in this video. And We have Jim Flanagan in the house. We have Bruce Yang in the house. Crypto Hippies here. I love it. I love it. So what I wanted to go over next before we really jump into, Bitcoin price, Litecoin price, I wanted to talk about some Litecoin news. And by the way, obviously there's a ton of things going on within Litecoin right now, right? In terms of adoption, in terms of partnerships, everything. I put a link below to the Litecoin Foundation news video that I did, I believe yesterday or the day before. I can't even remember right now. But I did a Litecoin news update for the Litecoin Foundation channel. Go check that out. It's the first link below. Check it out after the stream. And then I do want to point out that I really consider this Litecoin news. John Kim, if you're a follower of Litecoin on Twitter, it's probably almost impossible that you haven't seen John Kim. I mean, he doesn't sleep, right? He's always on Twitter. He's got so much energy. But, I want to cover what he's doing because there's a couple of reasons. Number one, in the space of entrepreneurship and in this space of cryptocurrency and working with startups all day long every day, one of the coolest things that I love to see is passion. And I've been even getting to know a lot of you that are in these comments. There's a tremendous amount of passion. So with that being said, right now, John Kim, insane amount of passion. And you can do some powerful things with passion and drive. And John Kim has it. And along with that, because I knew that already, a team, was really put together. It's basically the East Coast team, the Litecoin East Coast team, of some crazy passionate people accomplishing some crazy amazing things in the matter of days, right? And I think David Schwartz, I saw him comment, I think in the chat, basically saying, even marketing companies at huge organizations can't accomplish some of these things. And the reason for that is they're not organized, right? There's too many rules. There's a boss in charge. But when you have passionate people coming together, some crazy things get done. So right now, John, I want to point out, I'm bringing him up. He left today. He left his home. He's on his 30-day Litecoin tour, LTC 30 for 30. So link is in the description to John's Twitter. Go support him. Go follow him. We're talking about a guy that packed up suitcases and is literally investing 30 days of his life driving around the country for Litecoin adoption. I don't know. That's crazy. And he's crazy, but he's doing it. Go support him because, I think a lot of really cool things will stem from his trip. I think we'll get a lot of attention and it gets eyes on what he's doing. So, like I said, really awesome team. I should be meeting many of them, and they're in this chat, and I should be meeting many of them in the next couple of weeks or so. So in regards to how you can support the cause, first off, go follow John. But second off, BitNinja has shirts, right? The shirt was made to raise money for LTC 30 for 30. You can see it on the screen. 30 for 30 initiative for the East Coast team. Show your support for John Kim and fam by purchasing shirts. All proceeds will be donated. And it's an I Love New York Litecoin LTC 30 for 30 shirt. It's pretty sick. And I have to say, this team that I'm talking about, pretty much most of them are on this shirt. Really cool people. And I love all the logos together. And you can see I'm very proud to be on there. So thanks guys for including me on that shirt. And I'm definitely happy to support what's going on here, support John. And then secondly, besides BitNinja Supply, which a link is in the description, you can see Crypto Whale Clothing, by the way. They're actually, if I bring up the shirt, they are right there on the sleeve, Crypto Whale Clothing, supporting the cause as well. And they are, I guess, I'm not sure exactly the time frame, somebody in the chat might, but you can go buy a shirt from them and you can put in the discount code LTC 30 for 30 in the code to receive discount. So pretty cool. A lot going on. And lastly, I kind of missed it, but Abra's on here too. You can see, where is Abra? I know they're on here. They're on the sleeve. There's Abra on the sleeve, getting in on the action. Abra, getting in on the action. So really cool. So next up we have this video. So this video, this is kind of like the context that I want to talk about with what I was tracking, I guess you could say, I guess a week ago. When was this? July 30th, 2018. And before I do, I'm going to stop in the chats before I hop into the TA, because I know like a lot of you are chatting. And I even got Poseidon Lou with a 1999 super chat. I can't say. Poseidon Lou, don't start. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you. But go buy a shirt. Go buy a shirt. Go at Bit Ninja, get an I Love New York City shirt. Steven Herzog with the shout out to the East Coast team here repping. Steven, appreciate the $1.99 super chat. Poseidon Lou, can't wait to meet both of you guys. I really can't. And everybody sees Lou in the house. So let's see. Boiling Point, yep. Boiling Point Mechanical is Rob, by the way, who's done a really good job with these shirts. And man, I wonder what John's doing right now. Usually I'm so used to seeing him pop into a chat. But he's driving right now, I'm assuming. Does anybody know what John's doing? I should call him. Actually, I don't even have my cell phone in this room. So Dan, you should go on for the 30 for 30. I don't know if I have the time to do a 30 for 30. Dan Best, appreciate that, man. Thanks, Dan. Okay, so I think I'm caught up with the chats. David Schwartz says he's in a hotel already. Call him live. Oh, I should call him live. That would be pretty cool. Should I call him live, everybody? I just have to get my phone. That could be cool before we get into the technical analysis part of the video. Dan getting married, he's on husband duty. Right before I started the live stream, I was getting Sarah a piece of cake. I mean, that's my life now, serving my wife. He's on now. I'm gonna call John Kim. I have to get my phone. Hold on. I'm here. Smoke break, says Jim Flanagan. That's awesome. So I have my phone. John Kim is, oh, that says it's not John Kim. It's not the real John Kim. I'm gonna call John Kim. I don't know if he's gonna answer. Let's see. Hopefully you guys can hear. Can you guys hear this?
Hey, Dan.
Johnny boy, what's up, man?
What's up, bro?
Yo, I'm on a live stream right now. Everybody wanted me to call you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, do you have like 2 minutes?
Sure. I'm actually at a Starbucks right now.
Are you really? Hoddlefield, you hear that?
Am I live right now?
You're live right now, man.
Oh, what up, Litecoin fam?
Yo, so I was just like kind of talking about you on live stream and wondering what you're doing right now. How's it going, man? You left what, a few hours ago?
Yeah, I left this morning actually, and then hold on 1 second. Let me go into the bathroom. I actually left this morning, and then hold on. All right, I left this morning, and I went north, and my son is in Wichita Falls, Texas, and I'm uploading a video right now of my son receiving loaf wallet and promising to become a Litecoin evangelist junior, and he's going to get 5 of his friends to download loaf wallet and send $1 to each one of them, and that's going to be a pretty cool video. And I left there and I came to Lawton, Oklahoma, and this video is going to be freaking epic, guys. It was at a hibachi restaurant, and the owner, it was a Korean guy, and he was like really kind of, So they were at first like rejecting me, and I sat there and I talked in Korean and I talked to them, and he let me film and accepted Litecoin through his local wallet. And as I was, I used to do hibachi when I was like young. So on the video, I said, "Can I try?" That while I'm eating, there's people around, and I said, "Hey, you mind if I try?" And then he's like, "Why not?" And then he let me get on the hibachi table, and I did my thing, and I represented Litecoin. I can't tell you how I represented Litecoin, but when you see the video, you're gonna be like, "Dang, that is one of the most creative ways to represent Litecoin I've ever seen." So I'm actually editing that video right now at Starbucks, and we'll upload that in about 15-20 minutes, and then I have to drive 3.5 hours to Tulsa, Oklahoma, where if you saw my tweet, this one gentleman who was opening up a hotel actually got me a hotel in Tulsa, so I'm going to go there, sleep there, wake up tomorrow morning, and visit my old MMA coach in his gym, and he's going to accept Litecoin, and I might do a little bit of training and let you guys see a little bit of what I'm made of.
Nice, dude. I don't let him beat you up on video.
No. I told him, because I asked him if he's in shape, and he told me he was, and then I told him that never mind the sparring. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. He's very excited. He's so used, he fought at Strike Force. He was on WCL with Chuck Norris, so he's really good on TV. So I can't wait to do like an interview with him and just have fun. And then after Tulsa, I do not have any plans. So I think the cool thing about this tour is that I don't have a plan, but I'm just going north, and whoever responds and is ready to build a team, I will change my course. But if nobody responds, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And you know what? I'm going to start getting those rejections on video so that people can make fun of me too. The whole truth tour. I'm like the Litecoin blockchain. I'm open source, and everybody's going to be able to see and then critique.
Yo, you posted that video on Twitter earlier, or I guess it was a video, right? You were talking about your rejection, and I love that, man. I mean, that's like the key to this whole thing. And people don't realize, especially in the startup world, rejection and failure, I mean, those are just stepping stones. They're part of that journey. So like, I think it's a good way to start your tour, man. I do.
Yeah, so for me is, I've been in business a while, and I've chased really, pretty girls. And you know what, rejection is part of life. And for me, rejection is fun, because rejection only makes me that much more passionate and driven, because how dare you reject me, and then I just go harder until I become irresistible, baby.
Oh man, you're crazy, man. Well, listen, dude, I'll let you go. I just wanted to touch base. Everybody was asking about you. I wanted to see how you're doing, but obviously we'll be following you on Twitter, and keep doing your thing, man.
Okay, so wait for the video that's probably uploaded already. It's a video of my son. I'm crowning him the Prince of Litecoin Evangelist. And after that video, there's going to be another video of showcasing my talent at a hibachi restaurant in Lawton, Oklahoma. So you guys better retweet and like, okay?
Absolutely, man. Looking forward to
Love
it.
you, Litecoin fans. Love you for the support, and I appreciate all of y'all.
We love you, man. See ya. There we have it. That was like the first, that was like a call-in interview on Crypto Capital Venture. Man, I need to step up my tech. But John, obviously on the road, going to be in Oklahoma, I think he said soon. And man, that's crazy. There he is. So follow him on Twitter. He's got a cool video coming out, I guess, trying to get a hibachi on board with accepting Litecoin. So I'm actually interested in seeing that. and pretty cool, man. So go support that guy. And yes, I'm gonna kind of jump into price now, talk about what's going on, just some things I've been tracking. Obviously, at the end of the day, I'll preface this entire thing by saying nobody knows what will happen. Obviously, many technical analysts have their opinions, you know, and many are the same opinions because of certain technical indicators, and we'll talk about a couple of those in this video. But I want to talk about this video I did the other day. It's going to kind of lay framework for what we're going to look at, but I'm going to play this and hopefully you guys can hear it. This was from July 30th, talking about inverse head and shoulders on the weekly on Bitcoin. One thing I noticed was interesting is basically a possible reverse head and shoulders on the weekly, which really gives you a shoulder there. We have our head here, that previous bottom. And right now, we're at this critical time where we're just kind of like, well, are we going to break out? Are we going to break this previous lower high at around 10,000? That's what everybody wants. That's what everybody's tracking. That's what everybody's relying on the ETFs to. So I did that video, and I guess I can close it for now. We were trading at around $8,100 when I did that. So we were literally trading towards the top of this weekly candle up here. And you can see we've obviously retraced down, and we do have this inverse head and shoulders in play right now. We're down around 15% since I did that video. So I wanted to do that video and look for this inverse head and shoulders on the weekly, because I knew the market would be, if this happened, would be kind of discouraged. But I wanted to kind of set the tone that even if we have a 15%, 20% retracement, it doesn't have to be the end of the world for Bitcoin. We don't have to be completely stuck in the woods and just completely going down. It's not, you know, there's very bullish indicators right now. And I'm not trying to say that to get everybody's hopes up, but there are. And part of that story is this inverse head and shoulders that we anticipated the other day. Up here, 8,100, down 15%. So in the possible formation of this shoulder. So we're going to zoom in to a little bit, and we're going to talk about what that looks like on the daily. But before we do, on the weekly, you can see I have two basic points. Number one is bullish inverse head and shoulders forms, right? It hasn't formed yet. Right now it's in play. So for it to form, what we're looking at is a bounce off of mainly this channel, I would say. And that channel is this channel we've been tracking for a few days now. And we're going to look at it on the daily. But a bounce off of this area and back up through resistance, and that would be the formation of a reverse head and shoulders. So that could really be a great indication of really coming out of this bear market that we've been in, because we have full potential to break previous lower highs. So we're really zoomed out on the chart, obviously looking at the weekly, but inverse head and shoulders on the weekly is an awesome thing if it forms. So on the bearish side, we would see bearish new lows in the 5K target range. That's just me. That's my target range. And in context to that, if we do see 5K, right, if we just continue this downtrend that we're in, if everybody's worst fears comes true, the stock RSI is going to be in this green area, right? It's going to come down. This is the weekly stock RSI. That stock RSI is going to come down into this oversold area. And right now, if it gets here and we're in the $5,000 Bitcoin range, this is just me. This is not financial advice, but I do these videos to let you know what I'm anticipating. That's my downside anticipation. And along with that, I would say that is a very nice accumulation area. You can look back over the years, anytime the weekly is in this oversold area, we've gotten very nice bounces off of those areas. So will the stock RSI come down here? Will we see a 5,000 Bitcoin? You know, I don't know. Nobody knows. However, anticipate it, because if you have fiat available for that time, then I mean, it's a really good area to buy. That is not financial advice. This is just my outlook on the market. As I was just talking, I really did see. I saw a question from Jacob Smith. Said, Dan, can I ask your honest feelings at the moment? Please be honest. How do you really emotionally feel right now regarding the crypto markets? So Jacob wants my honest feelings, my honest emotions, and I really do try my best to always let you know like how I am feeling about the market. And how I am feeling is perfectly fine. And the reason for that is I leave emotion out of this. And to answer, actually, we had that hater that asked if I ever went to college, me and John, because he doesn't like how we are or something. I got my associate's degree in marketing. And then I was going to continue. I was going to continue and get my bachelor's degree. And instead, what I did is I dropped out after I got my associate's degree, and I became an entrepreneur. My first entrepreneur journey was investing in real estate. When I was investing in real estate up until like 2008, I was an emotional investor. And even around 2008, I was also investing in the stock market. I was an emotional investor. And so now in this crazy roller coaster ride of cryptocurrency, I leave emotion out of it. And it's probably the biggest reason why I'm passionate about doing these videos, is to give an upside and a downside scenario all the time, so that you don't have to be emotional, right? You don't have to react to what the market's doing, because you've already sat back and you've contemplated what it possibly will do, and you've already decided what you're going to do. And if you do that, you're not emotional. If I have any emotion right now, it is 100% excitement. And that's mainly because I work in this space. I work in cryptocurrency, outside of this YouTube channel. I work with startups, blockchain startups, all over the country, in helping them build their teams, mainly engineering teams. And I'm just having fun. I don't really care, what the price is right now of Bitcoin, of Litecoin, because, from an investment standpoint, I'm long, right? So if I'm long, I don't care about price right now. I care about price 5-10 years from now, because that's important to me for many reasons. But right now, I'm just focused on recruiting for the startups that I'm recruiting for, more passionate people in the blockchain space, doing crazy things, innovating the game, failing. I watch these guys fail. They have ideas they implement, they fail at them, but then they succeed even more than they fail. And the minds of these founders and these engineers, I can't even comprehend their minds. And I'm sometimes intimidated by talking to these people. But I'm very glad to be able to assist them and help them in their growth, because I'm passionate about the space, and that's what I do. So if I have any emotion right now, I'm excited. And if we do see a 5,000 Bitcoin, many people might be depressed by that. But there's also going to be a lot of people that are extremely excited by that, because they realize that's probably a really good opportunity to accumulate. And could something happen where the markets just completely are destroyed and this whole thing is over? I guess it could, right? So that's like the extreme downside scenario that you would prepare for. So as long as you're prepared for that, no need to be emotionally tied to the markets. Otherwise, definitely need to analyze the opportunities that possibly might be presenting themselves. So that was a very long answer, but Jacob, thanks for that question, because that was a cool question. So we have really extremely good buy zone, in my opinion, down here on the stock RSI. If Bitcoin does make a move down to these lower lows, right? And if this downtrend continues in Bitcoin, there's going to be extremely great buy opportunities at the bottom of this trend line as those new lows are met. So something to definitely look out for in terms of the downside, because those prices may never be seen again. So we can go to the daily, and Poseidon Lou, $14.99 super chat, dude. Thank you. I don't know what to do with you, but hopefully what you did was you went and bought a shirt. You went to buy a shirt on Crypto Whale Clothing. Ah, Lou. Jim Flanagan. I love how every time Poseidon Lou sends over a super chat, Jim Flanagan is always like, Lou. I love how everybody's just like, Lou. Because Lou, you're crazy, man. I was chatting with Lou the other day, and we were having a really good chat. And definitely looking forward to meeting him in San Francisco. But the amount of support he shows over here is just cool, man, and I appreciate it. The amount of support all of you guys show, I really do appreciate it. And I see Tech Lords in the chat doing work. I love it. Thanks, Tech Lords. Appreciate you. Conspiracy Couch. Lou makes it rain on good TA. I hope this is good TA. I hope it's good TA. Hey, we call this possible formation the reverse head and shoulders. So that was pretty good. That was pretty good. I'm kind of proud of that. So here we are on the daily. So this is really, we have that possible reverse head and shoulders on the daily, and you can really see it there. If you want to look on the weekly, or if you want to look on the daily and compare it to the weekly, this is what's going on. There's the shoulder, here's the head, and now we're in this last week, in this possible second shoulder. So now the question is, are we going to get a bounce? And we can talk about that green area after I thank MTS with the $2.99 super chat, who says, is it going to take the halving to bring Litecoin to all-time highs? I do not think so. I think a new season is just beyond the clouds that everybody sees right now, right? It's like we're in the middle of that storm, and then all of a sudden, very quickly, the clouds kind of go away and the sun comes out. So I have a feeling that Litecoin is going to see some pretty crazy great gains before the halving. So could that be a good thing for price? Yes, but I think some really good things will happen before that. So appreciate that, MTS. Appreciate the question. Appreciate the $2.99 super chat. You're awesome. And so where was I here? So that channel that we're approaching on the daily, this possible shoulder that we're forming on the weekly, right there, this channel is the channel that I talked about, I don't know, maybe 5 days ago I started talking about it, maybe a little more, I can't remember. But that channel is basically this. It's a Fibonacci, and there's a Fibonacci from this previous low right there to this swing high right there, and you can see that 618 channel to the 786. So many of you might be bored in hearing that if you've been following my videos, but right now it's the biggest area of support, in my opinion, that we need to look for Bitcoin for a possible bounce. And a possible bounce here is completely in play. Another reason I just haven't been worried from a technical analysis standpoint is the fact that, just zoom out on the charts, and we talk about this all the time. After we have gains like this, right? After we have gains like that, we always get pullbacks. This whole market, and not even just cryptocurrency, obviously cryptocurrency is a little more wild, it's a little more extreme and volatile, but we just always get pullbacks. Look at this one back there, and we talked about that. I did a whole video about all the pullbacks to the 618 to 786 Fibonacci area that we've gotten over the years, and it's been crazy. So it's completely normal. I know we're down, right? You can see these daily candles are all the way down, but it's normal. And this can be a bullish area right now in terms of a bounce. We can just be at a higher low for this continued uptrend, right? And this would be the formation of the reverse head and shoulders in play, coming up through that top trend line. So that's something to point out. And really, in synergy with that happening, right? One thing I do want to point out is the stock RSI. So, and I went ahead and I marked some areas on the stock RSI. You can see these areas on my chart. Weekly, if the weekly is oversold, usually there's less, in my opinion, less risk in terms of accumulation. When the daily is oversold, it's also a really good indicator. It's proven to be a very good indicator. So I've gone through most of the times Bitcoin has had the stock RSI in the oversold area, right? For all of 2018, I went through and I looked at, okay, and let me get rid of this Fibonacci. I said, every time Bitcoin has been in the oversold area and then it bounced up, like what were the gains like, right? So just for example, this one back in July 14th, oversold area, right? And the market probably from that previous high and then down 10%, probably depressed and sad. And then all of a sudden Bitcoin steps up from this oversold on the stock RSI and then sees 40% gains. So that's what you see there on the screen on the stock RSI, 40%. So going back even further, I'll move this chart up so you can see it better, or I'll kind of expand it. You have stock RSI oversold right here, June 13th, 11% bounce. 10% bounce May 28th, 15% bounce. And one thing I want to point out, it wasn't in the oversold area that long every time, maybe 2-3 days. So I want to point that out. 15% bounce and 27% bounce here in March 19th. And I have a note here. It says this happened in a downtrend. So you can see in March, we're in this downtrend. Everybody remembers that downtrend from that previous second high. When we wicked up around $11,000 to $12,000 area. But we're in a downtrend. Everybody's like freaking out a little bit. And then we were in this oversold area, even in a downtrend, right? We still saw a 27% gain. And that was right here, 27%. And then what happened was the downtrend continued, right? So that was just a lower low. And then we saw new lows. And so, you know, we can kind of go through the whole year. I won't go through the rest, but you can see this one, this big low that we had, which everybody remembers this day, like the February 5th and 6th. But you can see after that bounce out of that oversold on the daily, 70% gain. So wanted to paint that picture because right now you can see we're oversold on the stock RSI for around 3 days now. And you see what happened every other time. I'm not saying we're going to see 70% gains, but from a technical analysis standpoint, what I'm saying is it's set up pretty nicely right now, especially being we've been down for like, I mean, how many days is that? It's over a week. So on the daily, really nice indicators being we're right in this channel, the 786 where we bounce off of, between the 786 and 618. We're in that channel, a bullish channel to be in for a bounce. We're oversold on the stock RSI, and you see what's happened every time we've been this oversold on a stock RSI. Doesn't mean it's a guarantee it's going to happen again, but I could say, you know, you could safely assume that, you know, a pretty conservative gain would be around 15% gains, maybe, right, off of this area. Doesn't mean we're going on an all-out bull run, but it's something to anticipate on the short term. So if we do get that type of run, you might see some resistance at the 200 EMA, that pink line on the daily chart. However, if we do start seeing a run from these areas, that's going to be an area of resistance that we look to break as we're looking to break this upper trend line and then this previous low around $8,300, $8,400. So that's really on the upside. So there's definitely bullish potential is really what I'm trying to say in terms of Bitcoin. However, beware as always, because we have literally no idea what will happen next. It can just turn on, you know, at the flip of a switch, and we can be going up and breaking these previous highs. But at the same time, things can get really dark really quick, and we can break this whole channel of support that we have here, and we can start seeing these previous lows broken. But we're not there yet. And that's one thing I just want to put out there. Obviously, in the comment sections, I really do see the sentiment change every time we're in these downtrends, especially when we have really solid, strong red weeks. The comments change. Many of you who are on this chat are still awesome, and you keep me going, you keep me motivated to keep doing videos. If it was all haters, I don't know if I'd be able to do it. But the haters come out, and don't let them get you down, especially if you see them on Twitter, you see them on YouTube comments, you see them in the YouTube chat. Don't let them get you down. Think more objectively with cryptocurrency. You know, kind of piggybacking off of Jacob's question, try not to get emotional. I know it's hard, but try not to get emotional when we're down. Same way you don't want to get emotional when we're up, right? Because every uptrend we have, we're talking about downtrends right now, but every uptrend we've had, we come back down, even in a long-term uptrend. Look at these, and this is something to anticipate. If things get good, right, and we do get this reverse head and shoulders, look at these pullbacks. These are big pullbacks. So this is why it's very important to get rid of emotion. Like in an uptrend, but a 40% pullback, and imagine bailing, right? Because you just can't take the 40% loss from that previous high. Imagine bailing here right before this uptrend continues. So if you leave emotion out of it, you're able to think more objectively, more realistic, because the market's not doing anything different than it's ever done in the past. And it actually, look at the consolidation that you actually see on the screen. We've consolidated nicely, and right now we're just in this weird little area, right? And we really are. This line, a lot of people are referencing right around $6,600 is a really key area, because you've seen it, you know, we've seen it tested multiple times. So we've seen it tested here for support, here as support, here as resistance, and now we're like approaching that at the same time we approach the 618 to 786 channel. So it's pretty crazy. But you know, be prepared for either or. Look at your portfolio, know what you're going to do with it. That's what I do. I mean, that's just my best, that's my outlook on the market, right? So let's see what all of you guys are saying. I've been talking a lot. I know I've been talking a lot. Crypto Hippie says, I started laddering at 76, waiting for final ladder position. Laddering at 76. F-150, even in a down market, Dan keeps spirits high with top-notch TA. Appreciate that, F-150. Thank you. JB said, I think we're entering the final push down. I think Bitcoin will go into the $5,000 area for a short time, then bounce back up to about where we are now. Could be. I mean, it definitely could be. I'd be surprised. I really would be surprised if we don't bounce sooner than 5,000. I really will be surprised. You know, if you want my opinion, that's really my opinion. I missed that comment. Somebody said, Kevin Smith says, I get excited to see it move either way. The downtrend is an average of what percent? The downtrend is an average of what percent? I'm not sure I understand the question, Stephen, but are you asking how down are we from this previous high here? We're down around 18% or so. I think that's maybe what you were asking. Shielded by God, set a notification for $1,000. $1,000 Bitcoin or $1,000 Litecoin? Vin says, I believe we're at the bottom for Bitcoin. Jacob says, I just really wish I never bought 100 Litecoin at 300. I've been hodling since December. Well, I mean, you've hodled through. I mean, if you've hodled this long, right? If you held on this long, that says a lot about how much you I think believe in the long-term success of cryptocurrency. And if you're like a lot of people out there, if you sold right now, it would probably go back up and break previous highs. Ray Gross says, way too much good news right now to stay down. Right? There's so much good news, right? Amidst all of this downtrend. And you know, you got to keep in mind the manipulation happening as well. And you kind of just, there's nothing you and I can do about it, but be aware of it and be aware of the amount of volatility we see because of it. Kevin Smith says, yeah, Dan, I'm long-term all day, so either way I'm buying or hodling strong. Crypto Hippie says, yeah, don't sell now. Crypto Hippie, you should add asterisks. This is not financial advice. Jim Flanagan says, do you want the market to go up? All I need to do is sell. Exactly, Jim. Tron all over the news and no movement. Well, really everything all over the news and really no movement except for Ethereum Classic, right? But Tron, I don't know about Tron, but I think maybe people are sick of the Tron hype. I don't know. Chris says, Robinhood doesn't allow coin withdrawals yet. Only buy and sell. Nelson Winter says, keep accumulating. So let's look at Litecoin. I didn't cover Litecoin, but you know, Litecoin's like in no man's land right now in terms of charting, not following Bitcoin to a T. And you know, I really just the last few weeks I've just gotten a natural sense that it's very important to when they go so different in such different directions. One of the things I think is important is to really watch Bitcoin closely, to get a sense of the market, to get the pulse on price action. So that's why you might notice I have been covering Bitcoin a lot more than Litecoin lately, but that's why. So you can really see Litecoin just looking crazy right now in terms of where it's at. But really, in reference to Bitcoin, I have this channel. You might have remembered I talked about if Bitcoin sees a continued downtrend, right? If we don't get this bounce that we want off of the Fibonacci channel that we have up over here on Bitcoin, and let me open this up a little bit so I can kind of. And this is, this is the way I do it. I don't know how you want to do it, but this is just the way I am. And it really, it works well. Not as to the T as most times lately, just because Litecoin has been trading so much differently, but it does work well. So for instance, right now, if we see Bitcoin, right, and we're anticipating another 5% to that 786, that's the 786 area on Bitcoin, right? 5% to that support, that critical support. What would that look like for Litecoin? Probably around 5 to 7% for Litecoin. So you can take a price range, and that's the weekly chart on Litecoin. You can take a price range right there from where we are. And where would 5%, 7% bring us? So let's see. 5% brings us right around a $70 Bitcoin. So in terms of Litecoin in this weird, this weird looking chart that it's in could potentially be testing areas of $70. Right now, in terms of a technical analysis standpoint, Litecoin is, I don't know if I want to say even stronger than Bitcoin in terms of accumulation, but it's extremely strong. So if Bitcoin does see these new lows, and we do get in this $55 to $65 area, one thing I want to point out on the daily is from this 50 EMA on the daily, and we talked about this in a video the other day, getting into this channel, $55 to $65, we're going to be 25% overextended from the daily 50 EMA. That overextension is usually my heavy buy zones for Litecoin. So if you want to know my heavy buy zones for Litecoin, it's $65 and below. However, I'd be looking at $65 for some strong support. And with that being said, on Litecoin, look at Litecoin on the weekly. I have it open. Here's Litecoin on the weekly. But look how oversold Litecoin is on the weekly. So Litecoin already in that oversold area that we talked about on Bitcoin weekly, and way more oversold than Bitcoin. Bitcoin right now, if you look at the weekly, not even in the oversold, right? We just talked about that being around a $5,000 Bitcoin potentially, depending on how quick that actually would happen. But Litecoin already down there. So Litecoin from a technical analysis standpoint, it's completely oversold. $73 Litecoin right now is a cheap price. I think it's a great price, even if we do go to $65, $60. I think Litecoin is very well priced right now for accumulation. However, that $65 area, that's like that type of area where it's just like, oh man, it's just too good. And that's from my perspective. That's not financial advice. I probably said that's not financial advice like a million times already, but I just need to. So this is also why, if you look at the screen, this is also why Litecoin is poised to go crazy, right? It's poised for those December 8th to December 12th type of days. And what I mean by that is, many of you remember December 8th to December 12th, right? That crazy breakouts, December 8th to December 12th. Crazy breakout. So there's that candle right there, that huge weekly candle. Everybody remembers that, and even the weeks leading up to it, everybody remembers it. And those weeks leading up to it, I want to point out to you, we were in this oversold territory, right before we started breaking out and seeing new highs. So that's why I say when we're this oversold on Litecoin weekly, good time for accumulation, because eventually, maybe not $73, but $65, $60, $55, $50, there's going to be an incredible breakout in my opinion, unless something crazy that's unforeseen by us all happens, but I don't think that will happen. But right now, Litecoin, man, there's a lot of people that are maybe going to regret not accumulating Litecoin at $73. All I know is there were people up here wishing for, because they missed the boat, they were wishing for prices that they saw just a month or two earlier. They were wishing, and look, we're there, we're in the channel. So I wonder if those people are buying. I do not know. So those are our thoughts. Poseidon Lou says, Poseidon Lou doesn't like the weekly charts. He says that's where you get disappointed. Short term, yes, but long term. So Lou, you don't like the, and Poseidon Lou, we need you're a strong supporter of the channel, man. We need your opinion here. So Poseidon Lou, I don't know, maybe I misread his message, but he said he doesn't like weekly charts. Jose Miguel Lopez, Dan, wave 5 of primary cycle will take us over $1,000. So we should actually get some price predictions in the house right now. Jose, what is your end of year price prediction? Poseidon Lou, what's your end of year price prediction? I know what you want, Poseidon Lou, I know what you want, but what is your price prediction? And also Tech Lords, what is your price prediction? Tech Lord says if it hits $60, I'll take 20,000 out of the bank and go all in. Tech Lord. So I guess if we hit $60, we're gonna know what Tech Lord is doing. So we got Ray Gross says $700 Litecoin end of year. Jacob Smith, I sure hope for $1,000 Litecoin end of year, please. Arnold, before August 25th, I'm trying to get another 5K in Litecoin. Let's do it. Grand Illusion says, I predict I will be able to retire by February. So Tech Lord's predictions over $1,000 for end of year. Oh, Poseidon Lou wants me to zoom out on the chart. What would be really cool is if I could just like share my live stream. I'm on Coinbase's chart, by the way. If I could just say, if I could share my live stream with somebody that really wants to get on and take over the screen, that would be cool. We can do that on Google Hangouts, but that has to be planned. I'm not a good planner. Crypto Hippie says, I see another huge end of year run regardless. $777. $100 Litecoin in December. Shielded by God? No way. Wow. That's a bearish outlook, I would say. It's completely possible. I'm not going to sit here and say that's not possible. Ricardo wants to know my pessimistic prediction for Litecoin in 2020. My pessimistic. So I'm guessing what you mean is my conservative outlook. So where's 2020? Here's 2020. There's 2020. I mean, that's far off. Vinny, we've been holding, consolidating for a while. Bitcoin is at its bottom and won't break below 6K. A bold prediction. Where is that bottom of that channel over here? Is 6,500. So that 786 pullback. By the way, I know there are technical analysis people out there that take the Fibonacci and they take this previous actual low to the high. So their channel's a little different for that 618. So their 618 is actually, we're not even there yet. Their 618 is right at $6,800, and the 786 is around $6,300. So their channel's a little different than mine. I just, we've already had this pullback from that low, and that's why I like to start the Fibonacci from this low. So you can even see at this $5,700 or so low to that swing high, you can actually see we came down into that channel of 618 to 786, and you can see That was a, what was that? 11% downturn. Jacob wants to know my prediction for end of year. Arnold says, I was so happy when it went under $100 because it motivated me to buy on Litecoin. Chris says, doesn't touching $72 over and over create more of an opportunity of breaking through downward, or are channels not considered? Well, let's go over to Litecoin and look at that. So, and I'm assuming you're saying just because we're kind of like at this triple bottom area. So we touched, this is on the daily chart. Triple bottoms, you know, are more bullish patterns, and just keep in mind a triple bottom doesn't have to be the exact same price point hit over and over. So this kind of is like a triple bottom right now. So we have around 72.50, we have a wick down to 74.48, and right now 72, what is that, like 72.30, I guess, I don't know. I have to open up like an hourly to really see, but it's a bullish area of support right now in terms of being as oversold as it is, and right now being as overextended as it is. So the question is whether resistance or support, does hitting a certain price point make it weaker? And a lot of times it doesn't. If other indicators are in play, it makes it stronger. So for me, it's a bullish indicator that we've had this triple bounce, this triple bottom. Vinny says 70 is the bottom for Litecoin. Grand Illusion says buy more Digibyte. Digibyte's a great buy right now in terms of if you want to go long on it, in my opinion, because if a bull run does ensue, Digibyte's probably going to do really well. I mean, Digibyte's going to do well. But Digibyte, you know, is a great trading cryptocurrency. It's great for trading. So John Moore's prediction is $1,000. You heard it here first, boys and girls. Dan said load the boat. Oh man, if John's prediction comes true, I'm gonna buy an island, says Tech Lords. I always forget John's prediction. I just do. I don't know if it's because I don't think it's going to happen, but I always forget. I think it's 7,400. Is John's prediction $7,400? I don't know. So there it is, Litecoin on the daily. We can go to Bitfinex on the weekly, and we can zoom out on Litecoin. Look at that. That's crazy. Anybody in here from 2013 of October in Litecoin? I would love to know if anybody's in this chat from these days. Anybody? Boiling Point Mechanical says Digibyte 25 cents this year. Those would be some nice gains. John Kim prediction was 11,700. Wow. Wow. By the way, I forgot, I have my little remote here, and I was going to, when I was talking about John, I was going to turn on my light. Look at that. Can't even see it because my light's in the office. But I love this little thing. Look at this. Look at that. I love that Litecoin light. I need a Bitcoin light. I really do. Boiling Point. Digibyte ain't going to $5 to $10. Some people that think, so JB, Digibyte $5 to $10. Not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. That's something I can say with confidence. John's prediction comes true. I'm giving Dan 10% for getting me involved. Arnold, thanks, man, but don't do that. You're turning into Poseidon Lou here. And save your 10%. Arnold, so You're going to give me 10% for getting me involved, or getting you involved. Did I get you involved in cryptocurrency and Litecoin? What's the story, Arnold? Appreciate that, dude. Poseidon Lou, the wolf. Poseidon Lou, man, with these secretive comments. I don't even know what his comment means. If anybody can decipher what Lou's trying to say, let me know. John Lee, what's up, man? Welcome to the live stream. Leo says, if the big money has their system in place, then over $1,000 by end of year. If not, then slow gradual rise to $350 to $400 end of year. It's not a bad outlook. That's not a bad outlook. Jim Flanagan, I love that question. These are questions I lay in bed at night and I think. So let's say 5 years from now, and let's say Bitcoin around $1 million, what's Litecoin's price? It's a great question. What would Litecoin's price be if Bitcoin was $1 million? Man. Poseidon 2 is all about that. Poseidon Lou is all about that wave 2. Poseidon Lou. Jacob Smith says, good night, everyone. Thanks, Dan, for the stream. Poseidon Lou, I don't know. You might have seen me do TA videos where I talk about, I don't really use Elliott waves. Mainly because anytime I've ever tried, they just get changed. And actually, most time I watch any type of technical analysis, it's like they just get changed. The price targets get changed. And then everybody does technical analysis using waves. Everybody disagrees. I like support channels. I like the Fibonacci for its resistance and support indicators. I like to keep it simple. I do. But Poseidon Lou, I'm down for your wave 2, man. I'm totally down for it. Ricardo Cunha, how do you feel knowing that thousands of other YouTubers will try to make a quick buck when the next bull run begins? How do you so Ricardo, how will they try and make a quick buck? Let me know. Give me some tips, dude. I'm just kidding. Jim Flanagan says, if a $20,000 of a $20,000 would be nice, but why not $250,000 Litecoin? Because he's saying a quarter of a Bitcoin. Crypto Noob, good night, fellas, etc. Good night. $35 tomorrow night. I got in at 14. That's a new prediction. So Ethereum Classic's gonna double overnight. Litecoin 50. We got Sherry Vazinho. We've got a bear in our midst. Litecoin $50 real soon. There's a lot of like crazy price talk right now in the chats. If Litecoin hits 10,000, is everyone taking cash gains or keeping Litecoin and using it on a daily basis? Every YouTuber thinks they're a pro on a bull run. Dan has his stuff together and it's a real deal. Wow, Aetherbug, thanks. I appreciate that. I really do. I really appreciate that. I try and have it together. Martin says, if the CBOE rejects a Bitcoin ETF, do you honestly think Bitcoin will rally? If it rejects it, simple answer, it's going to have a negative effect. That's when we will see a bloodbath. By the way, I bought Litecoin at $3.60. So maybe Martin Daly. Maybe Martin Daly is from the 2013 or possibly from the 2014 days. In the chats, thinking the Bitcoin ETF could start a bloodbath. Tech Lord says, I'm not in the business of converting my crypto to fiat. The wolf of LTC, who actually thinks it will pass? Thornton Plumbing, wish we all can get safety ahead. Boiling Point Mechanical, that's a good idea. 10K, see ya. I'll buy a bunch of houses and live off the rent. That's really not a bad approach. That's really not a bad approach. If you're going to convert your Litecoin to anything, I think real estate's not a bad idea. Real estate over fiat, right? John Moore, 11,700 John Kim prediction. I don't think there's going to be $11,700 Litecoin. But we're allowed to disagree with each other. So John Kim, I disagree with you, man. So I think we covered a good amount tonight. Again, if you weren't on the beginning of the live stream, we talked about SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce. Go follow her if you're not. I put a link in the description for Hester Peirce, just really leading the charge in terms of this adoption that we're trying to get, and really standing up with her opinions and really our opinions of cryptocurrency. So pretty cool. Go follow her. And then you can watch the interview that she did on CNBC earlier in this month. Link is in the description. And then link is in the description to go follow John Kim with his tour right now. Litecoin 30 for 30. How often do you see that happen? Somebody actually going and driving around the country trying to get Litecoin adoption. Well, John Kim's doing it. And then you can go support the cause over at Bit Ninja Supply. And then we have Crypto Whale also as a sponsor of this movement, right? So links are in the description for that, for those things. And then otherwise, from a technical analysis standpoint, really what you see on the screen is a possible support area. So anticipate a bounce. If we break this area, 60, what is this? Bitcoin 6,900 down to 6,500. If we break that channel, I would anticipate some new lows and anticipate, more of a negative sentiment in the markets than we've already gotten. But right now, man, pretty oversold on the daily. Time for a bounce. So we'll see what happens. And then Litecoin, same thing. Keep it into perspective along with Bitcoin. Litecoin's really just out in left field, but extremely bullish looking in terms of how oversold it is. So be prepared. Find your point of comfort, right? So what would that look like? If Litecoin were to continue going down, but you really want to buy right now, could you buy anticipating a $50 Litecoin and feel comfortable with that loss? So could you buy $73 Litecoin right now? And if $50 comes in the next 2 weeks, are you going to go crazy? Or are you going to be cool with that? If you're cool with it, then you might have your answer. Same thing. If we go up, how much do you want to accumulate? Balance it out, find your ratios, find your risk, and I think you guys will be good. Remember not to get emotional in this market, but I think right now, if you were asking me if I'm bearish or bullish, right now I'm more bullish, even on the short term. I don't know. I mean, a lot of that depends on if we break areas of resistance on the way up. Or that'll depend on the difference here. 10-15% gains leading up to 200 EMA. We break that and we break this trend line here, I think we're good. So time will tell. Appreciate all of you coming by. John Kim just got into the chat. Go figure. John Kim says, play my new video on Twitter. Okay, so let's go play his new video. Hopefully you guys can hear it. Hopefully it's not 10 minutes long, John. If it's 10 minutes long, I'm not playing. Yes, I am bullish long term. I'm not always bullish short term. I think this is the video he's talking about. I think this is the video. mean, I'm trying to open this.
You got it. Alright. So this is what I'm gonna do, okay? I'm gonna go to my loaf wallet and put in my pen, and I'm gonna send. So I need you, Jaden, to press receive, and then I'm gonna press the scan button, and I got it, and I'm gonna send him $10 because
Send me $10.
okay, sent, and already on there. Was that fast?
Yeah, it was actually.
Okay, so there we go. Welcome, Litecoin fam. This is at JohnKim77. This is at JohnKim77 SON. Son. This is my real son. My heart. He has my heart, and I just love him so much. He's the youngest person ever on the Litecoin fam on Twitter. Today, you just saw the video. He downloaded Loaf Wallet. I sent him $10 in Litecoin. He received it. It was a fast transaction. Now, Jaden, I have a challenge for you. You ready for the challenge? All right. Introduce yourself.
Well, my name's Jaden, and I like playing football, and he's my dad.
All right. So this is my challenge to you. I gave you $10 on Litecoin, and you went through writing down the 12-word seed, and you know how everything goes, right? So I need you to pick 5 people that you know. Your friends, your mom, it doesn't matter. But I need you to pick 5 people, and I need you to set them up with a Loaf Wallet, and just like I showed you, you send them $1 each. Okay? And then I want you to take a video after you send it. Take a video of their phone with the money that you sent. Okay? Can we do that? So he's going to be the first 11-year-old Litecoin evangelist, because this is my son, and at our family, nothing is free. So I gave him $10. $5 will be me paying him for his work, but he has to go to 5 other people and make sure that these guys download their Loaf Wallet, and Jaden will send them $1 worth of Litecoin to each person who is willing to download it. And he's going to start this in Wichita Falls, Texas, because this is my son and we don't play around.
Thank you, Litecoin fam on Twitter, for accepting me, and please support my dad on his 30 for 30 tour.
Are you going to be a Litecoin evangelist in Wichita Falls, Texas?
Yeah.
You need to ask Jaden to set you up with the wallet so he can send you some Litecoins, okay? Litecoin.
Go Litecoin!
Alright.
Like
Bye, Jaden. Little Litecoin evangelist. How many people are you going to get? 5 people. Alright, buddy. Zaire. See you later. How many? Okay.
Wow, John Kim starting him early. Starting him early. That's awesome. I'm glad we caught that. That's crazy. I wonder if John, I don't know if you're there, but did you really leave at that very moment? Because that was a great ending. That was a well done video. Now that song is going to be stuck in my head from that video. But good job, John. Really good job. Go follow John, link in the description. And then otherwise, hold strong, everybody. We've been through it all. What's really funny is I started the YouTube channel right around, right around here. Right around there. So we've definitely been through it all. Through the thick and thin. We have fun times ahead, in my opinion. We really do. Appreciate all of you holding. Appreciate your passion. Appreciate your support on the channel. You super chatters. I really appreciate you. I can't wait to meet you guys. But we'll keep plugging away here on the channel. As always, I will see you in the next video. Have an awesome night, and God bless.